Good morning. Let us start the fifth unit, Optical Fiber Communication DET 3202. Course outcomes. The students will be able to understand different communication media, various blocks and applications of the optical fiber communication system. The students will be able to understand the optics rules and measure the optical fiber cable parameters. Students will be able to identify suitable optical source for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable optical detector for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable connectors and measure the losses in the optical fiber cable. Students will be able to understand architecture of the optical network for given applications. So these are the course outcomes. So in fifth unit we are having the syllabus of optical fiber joints. We have the joint in the optical fiber. Various methods, techniques are adapted. Devices are adapted, methods are adapted, techniques are adapted to join the fiber with fiber. Because in the long haul, thousands of kilometers, the fiber cannot be produced continuously, or if it is produced, it is difficult to lay down the fiber for thousands of kilometers. This is one thing. Second, there is always repeater stations in between, the limitations of the length of the fiber. So there must be joints. There are the joints practically required in between fiber to fiber. Other things are there. We have to couple the source output with the fiber. So coupling is is required. We have to couple the fiber output to the detector. So coupling is needed. So joints are needed. Coupling of the optical power from one device to other fiber to other device is needed. From fiber to fiber also coupling is needed. Fiber to fiber coupling is needed. Means one fiber is acting as a source and other fiber is receiving the optical power. So this is joint also. In joint also this is taking place. In joint, one fiber is acting as a source which is giving the optical output, and second fiber is receiving that, which is taking an optical output from the first fiber. So coupling of the optical power is there in the fiber joint also. But these are the simple joints. But in case of the optical fiber networks, there is a sharing of distribution of signal from one fiber to multiple fibers. One fiber to two fiber, one fiber to n number of fibers. So same signal is distributed in many network branches. For example, star network. For example, local access network. Or for example, trunk network. Traffic is distributed. The traffic is having the hub point or the gateway point. Similarly, multiple fiber signals can be combined where the coupler is needed. So coupler is for distribution and combinations, combining. So joints, couplers, or in place of joint we can call it as connectors and couplers. Connectors and couplers are important devices, mechanisms, processes. So here not only devices, the process and mechanisms are also there further. If the joining of the fiber is there, and for example if we are joining it with some process, then it is process only. It is not having any device. Fiber to fiber directly joining is there by process. So let us consider all these connector joints, having the connectors, connecting processes, devices, as well as couplers, coupler devices. So optical fiber connectors. Optical fiber connectors, the fiber joining as well as source and detector coupling with fibers employs techniques and devices also. Techniques as well as devices. The fiber connections has two major categories of the fiber joint. One is fiber splices and second is demountable fiber connectors or simple connectors. Demountable fiber connectors or connectors, they may not be demountable. Demountable means we are putting that device and we can remove it afterwards, and again we can put that device into the system, again we can remove. That is called demountable. Okay, in electrical board we put the plug pin and we can remove it again, and again we can put the plug pin. For the mobile we can connect the power cord, we can again remove the power cord. These are the demountable devices. Okay, we connect the USB wire to the mobile data cable and we can remove it again. So this is demountable. And there may be permanent joints also, permanent connectors are also there, either demountable fiber connectors or simple connectors. And first is fiber splices. Splicing is there. Splicing means again joining, connecting. So connectors are devices, splices are devices as well as processes. So what are these? We can see one by one. So fiber connectors are, as we have just discussed, are fiber splices and demountable filter connectors or simply connectors. So fiber splices, these are semi-permanent or permanent joints which find the major use in most optical fiber communication systems. Most of the optical fiber communication system. These are analogous to electrical soldered joint. Soldered joint means what? We have electrical solder joint. We take the wire, we take some solder material on the solder gun which is heated up, and we apply that solder, molten solder, with the wire and other wire connected together, or wire and PCB, or PCB and component lead. So this is solder joint, which is by melting the material, and once the material solidifies, it is becoming permanent joint. So splices are semi-permanent or permanent joints. Semi-permanent are also possible, which find major use in the most of the optical fiber telecommunication systems, and these are analogous to electrical solder points. Semi-permanent, how these are possible, we can check it. Permanent is there if you fuse it and melt it and connect it. Two fibers fused together and melted and connected, it becomes permanent joint. So splicing is permanent joint, but semi-permanent are also there. We'll just check in few more minutes. Then semi-permanent and permanent, both types we can check in the fiber splices. Then second is demountable fiber connectors. Demountable. We can connect and remove. Or simple connectors. Or simply connectors. These are removable joints. Demountable means they are removable joints, which allows easy, fast, manual coupling and uncoupling of fibers. Very easily and very quickly and manually we can couple and uncouple the fibers. And these are analogous to electrical plugs and sockets. Just like USB, just like C-type cable, or just like the charger pin, or just like the earphone pin, electrical 3-pin. Okay, so these are the demountable connectors and simple connectors. They are very easily removed, easily connected, very quickly removed, very quickly connected. Manually it can be connected, manually it can be removed. So fiber splices, semi-permanent, are also similar. We can connect and disconnect mechanical device as a splice. So permanent will be, of course, fusing. Permanent is fused and connected permanently. But mechanical device is also there which can be so connected it can become permanent. For a long time it can work, and it is not so easy, just like the demountable fibers. It is not so easy, but it can work for years together once connected. But it can be removed. By unscrewing the device, it can be removed. So it is a semi-permanent. It can be removed or coupled and uncoupled, but it is difficult to couple and difficult to uncouple. So it is just like a splice. It is not so easy to connect and remove it, disconnect. So it is semi-permanent. So it is called mechanical splices. So two types are thermal, permanent joints, semi-permanent, mechanical. So splices, fiber splices are mechanical and thermal. And demountable connectors are many, we can check. All are not in our syllabus, but whatever we are having, we will check. So fiber joints are useful ideally. Fiber joints are useful ideally to couple all light propagating in one fiber into adjoining fiber. So couple all the light in one fiber to other fiber. Fiber joints are for connecting all the light from one fiber to other fiber. All the light. So one fiber to other fiber. Whereas fiber couplers are branching devices. So joints are one fiber to other fiber, all the light are there coupled. Whereas couplers are branching devices. They split and combine all the light between the main fiber and two or more fibers in two ways. Again, there are two ways to do this. What are two ways? We can check below. But before that, what is fiber coupler? Fiber coupler are branching devices. They are branching the optical power from one fiber to many fibers. Branching of the optical fiber is there. Sharing of the optical power signal is there. That is called splitting of the signal. At the same time, Sharing of many fiber signal into one fiber is also there. That is called combining of the signal. So optical couplers are branching devices that split or combine all light between main fiber and two or more fibers, and all this can be done, splitting, combining can be done in two different ways. Two ways it is, two types are there. Okay, and what are these two types? One is couple a proportion of light propagating in a main fiber into branch fiber. So coupling of proportionate of light. So it is decided, it is already designed that main fiber is having suppose 100% light. Out of that there are suppose 3 fibers which are shared with. One fiber is 20%, second fiber is 40, third is 40. Or one is 25, second is 50, third is 25. Or one is 10%, second is 80%, third is 10%. One is 10%, second is 70%, third is 20%. So couple a proportion of light propagating in main fiber into branch fiber, or equally all are coupled proportionally. If one fiber main fiber is there and 10 branching fibers are there, then equally 10% are coupled. This is the first type. And what is second type? These devices are often bidirectional. So in first case it is unidirectional, main fiber to multiple fibers branching. In second case the devices are often bidirectional, providing for combining of light from one or more branches fiber into main fiber also. Okay. So combining of the light is also possible for multiple fiber, from multiple fiber into main fiber. Combining of the optical signal, optical power is also possible. Okay. So this is second type. First type, the coupling of proportion of light propagating in main fiber into branch fiber. Second are like bidirectional device along with the coupling of one main to multiple fibers, providing a combining of the light from one or more fibers to main fiber. So these are the two ways. These are the two ways of branching from main fiber to other multiple fibers, or from multiple fibers to main fibers. So optical fiber splice we can now consider. It is a permanent joint formed between two individual optical fibers in field or in factory. Okay, once it is deployed on the field, splices can be done, or in factory splicing can be done. It is known as fiber splice. A permanent joint between individual optical fibers which is made either in on field or factory is called as fiber splice. So fiber splicing is frequently, normally used to establish a long haul optical fiber links. Long distance, long haul optical fiber links are established, in which fiber splicing is generally frequently used, where smaller fiber lengths need to be joined. Of course, for very long haul, that much length fiber is not available, so we have to join it. So fiber splicing is frequently used where there is no requirement of repeated connection and disconnection. So where the fiber splicing is used, where that joint is not required, repeated connection, disconnection is not required. So in such cases, you can go for fiber splicing. Once connected, years together, it will go on working, and in between there is not needed any process where we have to disconnect it and so you have to couple it some other devices, and it is not required. Connection disconnection, repeated connection disconnection is not required. In such cases, splicing is adopted. So splices may be divided into two broad categories depending upon the splicing technique utilized. Splices may be divided into two broad categories depending upon splicing technique utilized. What are these two broad categories? One is fusion splicing or it is also called welding. First is fusion splicing, also it is called welding, and second is mechanical splicing. So some mechanical device is used to splice it, to connect it permanently. So this mechanical splice is not fusing the fiber. These are holding the fiber in the joint condition. But this arrangement is such that it will become permanent splice, permanent joint. So with the help of some fixing devices like screwing and all that, putting under the tension, they are putting against each other for very long time, years together. So it is as good as permanent joint. So for doing that, it is not easy to mount and demount, couple and decouple it. It requires complex process. It requires some time. It requires some efforts, and it requires the mechanism for that. So it is mechanical splicing. So fusion splicing and mechanical splicing. These are the two types, broad categories of splices. Splices are divided into two broad categories: fusion or welding and mechanical. So optical fiber splices, the first is fusion splicing. Second is mechanical splicing. What is there in the fusion splicing? Fusion splicing is accomplished by applying localized heating. Only that fiber ends are heated locally. For example, by flame or electrical arc at interface between two butted pre-aligned fiber ends, causing them to soften and fuse. The two fibers are taken together face to face, they are butted together, and then they are pre-aligned. They should be aligned. Align means what? Alignment is required. What is alignment? Before fusing, it is aligned. That is called pre-aligning. Fibers are pre-aligned. Fibers are taken in front of each other. They are butted together and they are pre-aligned. So some fiber may be having some portion outer than other fiber or misaligned. So this fiber is having misalignment. Okay. In this direction, misalignment is there. Isn't it? Or fiber misalignment may be there like this. One fiber, other fiber. So in this direction there is a misalignment, very long distance is there. So this misalignment is called lateral and this is called longitudinal misalignment. One is lateral misalignment, second is longitudinal misalignment. Okay. Please understand, if the fiber faces are not covering each other completely, This is laterally misaligned. Laterally means vertically. Longitudinally means serially. Okay. And when fiber surfaces are very much away from each other, that we can call as longitudinal misalignment. Okay. So this we can write here, lateral misalignment. Lateral, and this is, we can call it as longitudinal. So these are the misalignments. So this misalignment is removed. Okay. So that means exactly the surfaces are having in same axial positions. Exactly both the fiber axes are perfectly matched. Diameter are of course same. So this is alignment in case of lateral misalignment, and both the fibers are taken, pressed against each other, taken together. That is removing the gap in between the fibers. This is longitudinal misalignment is removed. Removing the longitudinal misalignment. There is one more misalignment, and that is angular misalignment. Okay, so this fiber is having axis in this way and this is having axis in this way. There is angle in between the fibers. So this is angular. So this is third. So angular misalignment. So fibers are made axis parallel to each other at least, or axis at same level, to remove the lateral misalignment. So these are the three misalignments, major three misalignments. Okay. So these misalignments are removed. So out of these misalignments, the angular misalignment is very serious, which causes very great loss. And longitudinal and lateral, as compared to, among these three, as compared to lateral and longitudinal, angular is having great loss, and lateral, longitudinal are not having that much loss as compared to angular, but lateral, longitudinal also having the loss. So lateral and longitudinal also should be removed. So all this, removing all these misalignments is called pre-aligning fiber. So fibers are exactly matched with axis to axis, and no angle is provided, and the distance between fiber is made such that they are pressed against each other, so gap should be minimized or zero. So this is called pre-aligned fiber ends. So two fibers are butted, they are pre-aligned, and ends are then heated up by causing them soften and then fuse. And again, once they are fused, the ends are fused, then that heat source is removed and it gets solidified, and this is called fusion splicing. So fusion splicing is accomplished by applying localized heating by a flame or electric arc at interface between two butted pre-aligned fiber ends, causing them soften and fuse. Okay. So all the misalignments, lateral misalignment, longitudinal misalignment, angular misalignment are removed. So this misalignment is there in the book. If you want, you can go and study that. A detailed description is there. In our syllabus it is not there, so you can have simply this much. Then mechanical splicing, in which fibers are held in alignment by some mechanical device. For example, use of elastic tubes around the fiber ends are there, that is called tube splices. Use of V grooves are there, into which the fibers are placed. These are called groove splices or V groove splices. Okay, so use of the V groove, like V channel, like channel is there, and in this channel, sorry, fibers are placed. So one fiber is placed, and in front of that other fiber is placed. Okay, so those fibers are very much aligned due to this groove. So this mechanical groove is very highly having the geometrical dimensions very linear. There is no unevenness. So, and very highly polished. So are both the fibers are automatically get aligned if they are pressed from the above. That is, one plate may be placed here, and this plate may be screwed with this other plate. So this screwing will fix the fibers together. So this is called mechanical splicing. So mechanical splicing, maybe a tube is there in which that tube can be used, elastic tube, to hold the fibers together, or the groove may be used like V groove, into which the butted fibers placed and they are screwed together permanently. So these are the two types of the fiber splicing: fusion splicing, mechanical splicing. Then splicing techniques seek to optimize the performance, that is, reduce the insertion loss at the joint with the help of fiber end preparation. First, fiber end preparation, and second, alignment of two joint fibers. Alignment of the two fiber joint. Okay, the joint of two fibers. Alignment of the joint of two fibers. Alignment of the two joint fibers. Joint fibers, there are two joint fibers, they are aligned together. So fiber end preparation is there and alignment is there. So splicing technique seek to optimize the performance. Splicing technique can take the optimized performance, better performance, maximum performance. What do you mean by optimized performance? The performance means the reduce insertion loss at the joint. So when there is a joint, there is loss called insertion loss. That insertion loss is reduced. That is called optimized performance. Minimum loss is introduced. Insertion loss is minimized. So this is optimized performance. To get that optimized performance, first the fiber ends are prepared. At the same time, alignment of the two joint fibers or joining fibers is there. Alignment is necessary, but before that, fiber end preparation is also necessary. So what do you mean by end preparation? So as we know, fibers are made with glass or maybe polymer, plastic. So if the glass is there, it is a brittle crystalline material, and if the ends are there, they are cut by some device, then there may be a unevenness at the surface. Okay, so this unevenness should not be there, otherwise it will have the scattering, it will have diffraction, and it will make the light directions in any random way. All the photons running out of the fiber, okay, as output, can have any random direction due to this unevenness, and that's why the fiber end preparation is very much important. Fiber end preparation, this end should be, fiber end should be very uniform, maximum uniform as possible. Okay, so this fiber end should be as uniform as possible. and this fiber end can be made as uniform as possible by cutting this fiber with some special technique. Okay, so cut this fiber with some special technique. So this is called fiber end preparation. So this is fibers are cut with the help of special diamonds or sapphire edges or some other hard material edges, very sharp edges, and this cutting is such that the fiber end will not have much unevenness. So it is called fiber end preparation. So in splicing technique, the optimized performance, that is reduction, very low insertion loss, can be achieved with the help of fiber end preparation as well as alignment of two joint fibers. So these two processes, methods are utilized, adapted such that it reduces the insertion loss, and it is called optimized performance of the joint. Second is insertion losses of the fiber splices are generally much less than Fresnel reflection as compared to Fresnel reflection. So insertion losses of the fiber are very less. What is Fresnel reflection? When there is one material with some refractive index N1, and from this material light is propagating and light is appearing into another material, say N, maybe this glass, there maybe this air. At this two medium interface, when light refracts from one material to other material, light gets reflected back into the same material. This is called Fresnel reflection. Reflection is light has to go from one medium to other medium, but 100% complete light will not go into other medium. A small portion of the light get reflected back into same medium. This reflection is called Fresnel reflection. Okay, we have discussed this many times. Whenever there is a window pane, the window glass is there, and in window glass we are able to see ourselves, even though that window glass is very transparent. Why we could see ourselves, our image into window pane? Because from our surface, face or body, our dress, the light is reflected, and that light we see as the image of the person, image of the object. So that light is going from the window pane outside. So from outside person can see ourselves. But at the same time, ourselves, we can see we are internal to the one other side of the glass. We can see the very faint image of ourselves. That is on same side. That is reflection. And that is due to Fresnel reflection. Okay. So Fresnel reflection is causing more loss as compared to insertion losses in the fibers. When butted fiber joint are in place of splices, when fibers are butted together in splices. So if there is a fusion splice, there is no gap in between the fiber joint. So fiber is continuous. So there is no any reason of Fresnel reflection. Okay, but in mechanical splices, the fibers are very highly pressed against each other to reduce the gap in between the fibers, but still there is a micro gap in the fibers. So there is light from one fiber going into air medium, that gap, and again from air medium it is going into other fiber. So 2 times Fresnel reflection is there. So this Fresnel reflection is having higher loss as compared to joint insertion losses. Similarly, if the fibers are joined together by fusion, okay, So these fibers are joined together by fusion. So this is joint. So even though it is fused together, so material fiber is becoming continuous. Then also, due to fusing, the density characteristics of this local area, of this much area, is changed. Okay, because it due to the heating process. So heat treatment, the density characteristic and distribution of the material has changed. So slightly there is a difference in the refractive index. So it is as good as optical signal, optical power is transmitting, is propagating from one medium, and this is appearing as second medium, and again this second medium, and again this is one more medium. So Fresnel reflections are there in the fused joints also, fused splices also, but they are very small. But in mechanical, Fresnel reflection is 100%. There is a Fresnel reflection because there is a gap in between the two fibers. Very micro gap is there. So this micro gap causes, this micro gap, small gap is there, that causes the Fresnel reflection. There is air in between that fiber joint splice, mechanical splice. So this is Fresnel reflection. So insertion losses of fiber splices are generally less than Fresnel reflection loss. When fiber joints join together, they are butted together. Okay. So splicing technique, the optimize the performance or reduce the insertion loss at the joint, that is optimized performance is achieved with the help of fiber end preparation and second alignment of the two joint fibers. Okay, alignment and end preparation reduces that loss, that means insertion loss is minimized, and that is called optimize the performance. And second, the insertion loss of the fiber splices are generally very less as compared to insertion Fresnel reflection losses. Okay. So the low loss is achieved in optical fiber splices. The low loss is achieved in splices because in fusion splice no large step change in the refractive index is there. Once the fiber are fused, there is no step change in the refractive index is there because it is becoming continuous material as it forms a continuous fiber connection. Okay, in fusion splices no large step refractive index change is there in form of as it forms the continuous fiber. But in mechanical splices there is a gap in between. Whatever they are pressed against each other, try to minimize the gap. There is a gap in between, and this gap, mechanical splices, the gap can be reduced by index matching material. Okay, index matching technique is that in between that gap there is a micro gap in between the fiber, whatever the gap is there in the fiber in the mechanical. So the fluid or the liquid or some material is filled in between the fiber. That material is having similar or same refractive index as that of the fiber. So this material is making those fiber joint splicing, mechanical splicing, a continuous material. So this is called index matching. That method, process, technique is called index matching. So for index matching some fluid is used. That material after solidifies and makes it the matching of the index, refractive index. So in fusion splices there is not large step changes there of the refractive index. But in mechanical splices, index matching is used to make it nullify the large step change in the refractive index. So difficulty is there in the splicing is as the fiber splicing, especially in the fusion splicing, can be a somewhat difficult process to perform. in the field environment. This is one more difficulty. If we are in the field, fibers has to join in the field, there is lot of difficulty in the splicing process, especially in the fusion splicing. What is there in the fusion splicing? The fibers are aligned perfectly, longitudinal, lateral, angular misalignments are removed, they are pressed against each other, okay, and they are accurately held in front of each other, removing lateral, longitudinal and angular misalignment, and then they are fused and locally, and they are pressed against each other so that that molten mass will become continuous material, and then they are solidified. So this process is requiring lot of precision, accuracy, because fibers are having dimension same as hair like dimension. Human hair केसान इतकं छोटा आहे ते. So it is very very precise work. How to do it? We have to do it in under the microscope, isn't it? So it is very difficult process on the field environment. So the splicing technique requires specialized splicing machine. This cannot be done manually, that it is the pressed against each other manually, it is hold and with the help of some just like the solder gun, we are applying some heat source. ओके, बर्नर घेतला आणि असं धरला तर तो फायबर जळून जाईल इमिडिएटली. मायक्रोमीटर डायमीटर स्मॉल फायबर इज देअर. So how much small heat is required? Controlled heat. Otherwise that will completely melt and go, molten mass will go away and it is completely destroyed. So it is very very difficult process. It requires splicing machine, and this machine on the field it becomes difficult to process. But nowadays with the advancement of the technology, the handheld portable splicing machines are available, and on the roadside also we can see the technicians are making the fusion splices very easily. Okay, so whenever there is a optical fiber laying down process is there, go there and watch it carefully. You can find it that splicing machines, handheld portable splicing machines are there, but it requires some trained person, and that he can do that process. So field operation problems have been overcome through development of field usable equipment. So there are field usable equipments are developed. So in olden days it was very difficult. Fusion splicing was only possible in the laboratory in 10-20 years or 25 years back. But nowadays splicer machine is available. Splicing machine, handheld field usable splicing machine are available. So it is the requirement of splicing that end face should be smooth and square. Okay, the end face should be smooth and square. This is the end face. End face of fiber. Okay, the requirement of splicing is that end face should be smooth and square. In general, end face preparation is achieved by using a suitable tool which cleaves the fiber, which cuts the fiber. In general, the preparation is achieved using this end face preparation is achieved using a suitable tool which cuts the fiber, which cleaves the fiber. This process is often referred to as scribe and break. This process is called as scribe and break or score and break. Scribe and break, or it is called score and break, this process. Okay. So for scribing or scoring, the diamond edges are used, sapphire edges are used, carbide material, hard material edges are used. So this is the process of end preparation. This is the process of end preparation in the figure. Optical fiber end preparation. This figure is of optical fiber end preparation. The principle of scribe and break cutting. First the scribing is there, then breaking of the cutting is there. So this is the end preparation. So there is a curved mandrel, and around 1 degree or some curvature of the fiber is made. Okay, 1 degree on both sides, or even less than 1 degree, and fiber is hold tightly on curved mandrel. Okay, so on this curved mandrel, very uniform polished curved mandrel is there. Mandrel is also made of glass or other any material, and the fiber is tensed. Okay, force is applied on the fiber on both the side, so it is tensed. Okay, that is to be cleaved, or that is to be cut into end faces, and there is a knife edge. There is a knife edge that initiates the crack. That knife edge scribes or scores on the surface of the fiber, and that initiates the crack on the fiber. Once the crack is initiated, the tension in the fiber will make it pronounced, increase it, that crack, and in this way the fiber will break. And this process is so controlled that the end face is made very smooth, and obviously this becomes square also. End faces becoming square and smooth. So this is the process of end preparation. This is the process of end preparation. So in end preparation, the fibers are pulled to create the tension in the fiber surfaces. They are pulled against each other on putting on the mandrel. Mandrel is having around 1 degree. That fiber are generated with 1 degree of the bending, not bend too much. It is just put on the surface of the mandrel so that it can create very small bending, 1 degree or less. The scoring of the fiber surface is under the tension, is carried with the cutting tool. The scoring of the fiber is carried out with some cutting tool, where that fiber surface is under tension. So tension is provided, that force is provided, pulling is provided to the fiber. And cutting tools are made up of sapphire, diamond, or tungsten carbide blade, hard material. The tools of the cutting tools are made up of sapphire like material, diamond like material, or tungsten carbide like blade like material. Then the surface scoring creates the failure at the fiber, which is tensioned and clean. Okay, this produces a reasonable square fiber end. Reasonably square fiber end is found. So this is the end phase preparation, end preparation. So optical fibers fusion splices. Okay, end preparation is required in optical fiber as well as fusion splices as well as mechanical splices. Any joint is there, end preparation is compulsory. End preparation is done for any type of the joint. So once the end preparation is there, we will check the different splicing techniques: fusion splicing, then mechanical splicing. Okay, the fusion splicing of the single fiber involves a stripped, there is a cabling and buffer coating on the fiber. So fiber is there, and on this fiber there is a core cladding, all is there inside that core and cladding is there, and this is suppose fiber. On this fiber there is a cabling, that is buffer coating is there, protective coating is there, isn't it? Maybe of mylar or plastic coating is there, and on that coating again additional strains may be there for supporting, and parallelly such fibers are placed in single cable. Okay, so such many fibers are there in a single cable. Okay, so this one more fibers are there. Okay, and this forms the cable. So cable is having many fibers together. Okay, so there is this central iron steel support is there, and around that the fiber are placed, and around all this fiber there is a coating, maybe mylar or plastic coating, and around each fiber also there is a plastic coating. Around each fiber there is a coating, and all the fibers together there is also coating. So we have to remove the cabling. This is called cabling. Okay, this is called cabling coating, and the fiber coating for individual fiber it is called buffer coating. So we have to remove cabling as well as buffer coating. So they are stripped out, cut down, and fiber ends adequately positioned, so aligned, positioned against each other, and they are aligned then to achieve the good continuity of the transmission medium at the junction point. Okay, so achieve the continuity of transmission medium at the junction point. So heating, so this is the first preparation. The cable material is removed, then fiber is taken, the buffer material on the fiber is removed. Okay, then the fiber ends are positioned against each other. Okay, then they are aligned properly. All this can be done with the machine, isn't it? Manual alignment is not possible because it is micrometer dimension, micrometer hair like dimension. With the bare eye it is not possible also, and even though we use the lenses or magnification device, with the manual, with hand, we cannot align it. So the fiber has to be firmly held in some mechanical part, and that mechanical part is adjusted with some screwing mechanism, micrometer screwing mechanism. So this is called splicing machine, which is having all these provisions. So very fine mechanism, mechanical micrometer screwing is there, alignment is there, must be there in the splicing machine. The splicing machine should have very controlled heat providing source, because micrometer cable should not burn out, so that much heat should be provided. So all this is there in the splicing machine. So they are aligned to achieve the continuity of the transmission medium at the junction. Now after alignment, the heating of two prepared fiber ends are there to fuse the fiber ends, okay, up to fusing point. Then applying a axial pressure between two optical fibers. So fibers are there, they are fused to first, aligned first, in preparation is there, aligned, then they are fused with the heat source, and then they are pressed against each other. Then that molten mass will become continuous mass, and they are allowed to cool down. So it will become a fusion splice. So fiber fusion splices are usually positioned and clamped with aid of inspection microscope. So there is inspection microscope necessary. So there is magnification aid is required, isn't it? Because fiber is 10 micrometer diameter, 50 micrometer diameter, 100 micrometer diameter, which is very difficult for our bare eye to understand the dimensions and its location, etc. Its angular variation we cannot identify with our eye. So flame heating sources such as the microplasma, torch. So flame eating sources are there, various flame eating sources are there. So these flame eating sources like microplasma torch is there, argon or hydrogen torch, microplasma torch it is called, which is using argon or hydrogen, or oxyhydrilic micro burners are there, oxyhydric micro burners like oxygen, hydrogen, alcohol vapor are utilized in that. So these flame heating sources are there. Flame, that source is creating a flame. For creating a flame, some substance must be burnt, isn't it? Some material is burnt, then the flame is created. So for burning, in the microplasma torches, the argon and hydrogen is used, and in oxyhydrilic micro burners, oxygen, hydrogen, alcohol vapor are used. And most widely used heating source is electric arc. So electric arc is most widely used. So flame sources are not very widely used, because the heating source should be very much controlled device. Okay, why the heating source must be controlled? Because it should provide very controlled thermal energy, because the fiber is of micrometer dimension. Very small unevenness in the thermal energy can destroy the fiber. So very controlled energy should be provided, thermal energy. So with the flame heating, it is difficult to control the flame. Flame can be controlled by supply of the material which is burning. So argon, hydrogen, or that oxygen, hydrogen, alcohol vapor is controlled. So that control will be there with the help of walls. It is possible, but it is difficult to control. Automatically it can be controlled. But electrical arc heating is very controllable. It can be highly controlled by controlling the electric current. So to control the electric current is easier than controlling the burning material vapors. So it is widely used. Heating source of electrical arc is widely used. So this is the fiber fusion machine. Figure is electric arc fusion splicing. Electric arc fusion splicing. An example of fusion splicing apparatus. So fusion splicing apparatus means thermal fusion machine is there. If you carefully inspect this machine, it is having the block. A fixed block is there. Okay. Then there is one more block which is movable block, which can move in this direction. So this is a movable block. Okay. Then in the block there is V type of groove. Okay, and that groove holds the fiber. In that groove fiber can be placed, and fixed block and movable block, the distance between the blocks can be adjusted by moving the one of the block to make the fiber to fiber end distances, fiber end to fiber end distance minimum. That gap can be reduced. So by moving this with some micrometer scale, there are micro positioners. Now this machine shown is very olden days machine. So these are micro positioners which can manually adjusted and so on. Now that is all automatic process is there. Okay. So this is just to understand how the process is there. So presently even the field handheld portable machines are also automatic. All the these steps are done automatically. So there is a micro positioner which is having the scale also, which is connected to the stop lever and the push lever. So this stop lever and push lever can move this movable block with very micrometer displacements. Once the fiber alignment is there, okay, all the misalignment are removed with this positioning mechanism. Then there are electrodes. Okay. So these are the electrodes. Those provide the arc heating. Okay. That arc heating creates the heat, localize the heat in the fiber ends. Once the fiber ends are preheated, then with the help of micro positioners, these blocks are again slightly created the pressure on the fibers so that the molten mass will mix together. And this is very, very precise, and this should be very, very precise method. Okay. Otherwise that molten mass will be get damaged the fiber. So this is about the fusion splicing machine, how it operates. Okay. So there is a fixed block, there is a movable block which moves. The fibers are placed in the alignment groove. So this is V groove, and there are the micro positioners which is having the movement in the levers, and both directional adjustment is possible. And there are electrodes to give the localize the heat, and these are the electric electrodes, arc heating. So this is the fusion splicing machine. So this is the working principle. To understand the working principle, automated machines are there which are no manual intervention is required. Just manually we have to put the fibers in the groove and press the clamps and just press the button. All this functioning is done automatically. So this figure is electrical arc fusion splicing, which is illustrated as a pre-fusion method accurately splicing the optical fibers. So with this machine there are 4 steps. One is initial setting, second is arrangement of the smooth surface by pre-fusion, third is they are pressed together, and fourth is accomplishment of the splice. So once the fibers are aligned, misalignment is removed, axially they are aligned, okay, and distance between them are also reduced, and angular misalignment is also removed. So alignment is done, and they are pressed against, lightly pressed against each other. So this is initial setting. Then there is arrangement of smooth surface pre-fusion. Pre-fusion means very slight amount of energy than fusion energy, lower than the melting point. Lower than the melting point energy is provided with the help of again electrodes. The melting point energy is there, and before that pre-fusion point is there. So pre-fusion energy is there, so that material end, that fiber end becomes rounded instead of the unevenness. Whatever small unevenness is there in the fiber ends, the fiber end becomes rounded and slightly become fused, not completely fused. Whenever there is a pre-fusion state achieved, then the fibers are pressed together. These fibers are moved against each other. Now, once fibers are pressed together, then the electrode provides the electric arc, and this is now melting point energy. Melting point. So fiber melts, and this very momentarily, very small time arc is provided, and fiber melts, and immediately that arc is removed, and then the fiber is allowed to cool for some few seconds. Maybe some cooling fan may be provided. This is called accomplishment of the splice, successfully completion of the splice, and splice of the fiber can be achieved. So these are the 4 steps. So initial setting is there, in which the misalignment is removed, gap are removed, angular misalignment, lateral misalignment, longitudinal misalignments are removed, fibers are very much aligned, end faces is already prepared, and they are pressed against each other. And in second step, the arrangement of smooth surface is there with the help of pre-fusion. From very irregular, even though the end faces are prepared, there is some irregularity. This irregularity can be on the surface of the fiber, can be removed by phase pre-fusion. Smooth faces can be done. Then they are pressed against each other, and electric arc is provided for very controlled time, and that melts the fiber ends, and immediately the arc is removed, and then this is allowed to cool for some time, and this is accomplishment of the splice. So this is the fusion splice process. Okay, details regarding the fusion splice we will check it afterwards. Okay, so this is about the 5th unit, which is regarding the joints and splicing. Mechanical fusion splicings are there. Then we will go for the couplers and different connectors, whatever the syllabus. There are lot of connectors, couplers methods are there, but in our syllabus very few are mentioned to cover the types, all the types. So in each type one is there. So only few are there in our syllabus, but if you refer the book like senior book or some other book, you can find lot of numerous all type of the fibers, couplers, etc. Okay, connectors, couplers you can find. So this connector joint coupler theory is very easy. We have to understand its mechanisms basically, and we will not go very much in detail in mathematical treatment, etc. Everything, everywhere in unit 1 to unit 6 all syllabus, we are going to just understand the theoretical part, and very much mathematical treatment we are not, which is not in our scope of diploma level. That may be, if you go for the degree you can find it suitable, and if you want a PG or research level, you can go for the mathematical treatment of all these theoretical parts. So we are dealing with basically this understanding concepts and methods and processes and mechanisms. Okay, so to understand process, mechanism, concepts informatively, informations only we are checking, and not the mathematical proofs and details and simple mathematical equations we are seeing, which are very easy to understand also, remember also directly. Some equations we are taking directly also to solve some numericals. So all this I am telling because if you are referring the book, then that part which is mathematical treatment should be skipped. Okay, do not read mathematical treatment or mathematical equations, too much derivations, etc. For that we have to refer our lectures. So whatever discussed in lectures, those points you have to emphasize and study now for our level. Okay. So as in our as your demand was there that some reading material is not available, I am providing it to you, reading material shortly after some time. So this reading material will help you to understand more. But I think if you watch the video lectures, which is very sufficient. Now in the virtual case, why I was emphasizing on this is because the video lecture, whatever discussion is there, that is sufficient. You can take the notes for those points. Questions will be asked based on that. But if you insist, I will provide you the notes, and then the notes will be detailed notes, and so that I am also having freedom to put the questions, intricate or difficult questions, because reading material is with you. Okay, so I will provide the reading material accordingly. Some difficult questions also will be there. Okay, so let us meet together tomorrow. Then I am stopping this now. Let us meet tomorrow. Thank you.